So I can't really remember all the stuff that I have said yesterday, so I might repeat some stuff. I don't know. Um, Today I have on beets and charcoal. I'm gonna have to do more to perfect my mascara. It's really not doing so great. But I'm not giving up. And so, anyways, there was a lot. One of the things, speaking of makeup, and I may have already mentioned this, there was this person on TikTok, and just the whole thing with this, she, he, her, them, all that stuff. When I had said it, in referring to this person, I was like, this is so fucking rude. Like, why in the world would somebody want to refer to themselves like this? This is so strange. And so, and I said that too, but the video I was like responding, I wasn't doing a stitch or duet, like I wasn't personally coming and confronting this person, but it was an issue that I thought needed to be talked about, because it is one that like I've talked about it for my own self, is that if I put on makeup, I feel like I look like some sort of drag queen. Well, I know other people, like I have one of my daughters, she's always like, I look like a drag queen if I put a bunch of makeup on. And there's lots of ladies who feel like that. I mean, our faces are not like that much different. Men and women's faces, we're all just faces, you know? And so, and I mean, now they don't even do normal makeup. They do stage makeup. Like they do special effects makeup for their daily routine. And so, to me, that's a total mask. But, this person was saying because they look like a drag queen when they wear makeup, that they knew that they were I wasn't even sure. Some of these people are so androgynous. It's like, and then when they have gone back and forth, it's like, I don't know where you started. I can't tell. Like, I seriously can't tell, like, which they are their own certain people. Like, I don't know why they're trying to classify under a group. I thought I saw this one trans woman the other day, beautiful. Oh my gosh, this person was beautiful. Darker skin and just very exotic, beautiful looking face. And she was saying that she was born a man, became a woman, and all of her struggle, everything that she went through, and she does not understand where this the whole thing, because that's where the division, all the groups had to start dividing, because there's the group that makes no sense, and then there's the logical group. There's the group that don't question things, that just follow the narrative, and then there's the group that question the narrative. And so, there's a lot of trans people, a lot of gay people questioning, like, why are you doing that? Why are you pushing this? What are you doing here? Like, I don't want to be involved with this. And so, that's what she was saying. Like, quit trying to say that we're regular women. Why are we competing? We are our own thing. And that is exactly what I think. It is just like, biracial people. It becomes its own thing. And it's like it's a new breed. And the same with this trans community, and anybody who's going to take in any of those chips and integrate with that. That's a whole new thing. That is what this whole thing about this topic is being brought to the surface. What is human? And them manipulating it and stuff. Like, and people get so caught up in so much of this stuff. It is if they just understood, like, it would just, I don't know, it's so chaotic out of not understanding things and not questioning, and just it's crazy. And who knows, I mean, like right now all the cards are up in the air. Like, that's how I feel. All the cards are up in the air, and where they're gonna fall, let's see. And so we have all of the I like to me it is giving up. They want to strip us of our culture. They want to strip us of our all identifiers. They want to strip that out so that you're just a vague shadow of self, dependent on them to give you your identity. And, I mean, that's a big part of the awakening, is realizing that you aren't even who you thought you were. And so it's a big transformation that occurs when you awaken. And they want to keep people, totally who they aren't. And so, and just these weird things with, call me a they, them. It's weird. And call me a he, she, or it's not all inclusive. It's like you are just making yourself a number. You're not giving yourself a true identity. And so, finding yourself a true identity takes confidence. It takes understanding yourself. It takes getting to know yourself. It takes, understanding what you're made of, what you're truly made of, not what you thought you were made of. And so anyways, it's a whole development of self that I talk about all the time. And, that they want to keep it. And the whole thing has been an agenda the whole time. And that's so frustrating is the people that jump in. Even for that beautiful person that I was just talking about, the trans person, to me, it's like all these people are a science experiment for these people. And they don't realize an agenda was pushed on you. Yeah, you may have felt like, oh, I feel so awkward. I feel so uncomfortable. I really feel like I'm supposed to be a guy. I really feel like I'm supposed to be a woman, because of your soul has no gender. You come born into the spaceship. And it's like you go into a red model and you're normally a blue model. And then you're like, oh, I feel so weird. I'm supposed to be blue, not red. It is something for you to come into terms with, for you to come into balance with, to come in, because you were born into the body that you come into experience through that role. So they just start jacking up the role. And so instead of giving people confidence, they feed off of their underdeveloped sense of self. And so then they market on it. They develop pills and stuff for it. So anyways, that whole thing, but all of that stuff is coming to the surface, and people are going to start finding out, there's going to be a lot of humility with some of that stuff. Not seeing that there was a hidden agenda, and then playing the part. And then the whole thing, even like with my implants, it's just like, oh my gosh, I can't believe I was so insecure that I put these things on my chest. And it is like you have this constant reminder of this place that you were, that you wish that, and I know the med beds are going to solve it. Like, I know I don't have to go in and have anybody cut them out of me, or, I would have already done that. I tried to get that set up quite a few times, and, it's not that easy. But now knowing like that we shouldn't even be having anybody cut into our bodies in this laser, whatever, the quantum medical bed things, that is where I know the implants will go away and stuff like that. So I'm just hold out for that. But it is a constant reminder of, your own insecurities. And so anyways, that was the whole thing yesterday that I saw. And it's just, I always will see like a bunch that kind of give me a broader perspective of something. And then last night, it was like I am not even kidding you. There might have been, I think there was one video, let me think of what it was, but every single video was a UFO was shot down, a UFO was shot down, a UFO was shot down, a UFO was shot down. And then you have, oh my God, you people need to realize these are demons, these are not aliens. So we have all these people. I saw a guy this morning who was very, older, paying attention. And he's like, oh my God, All this stuff is happening. All this stuff is being exposed to us right now. And and all y'all are talking about is this UFO thing being shot down. Like, they're so easily distracted. It's what the thing is like, people don't understand how easy, like, it's like, when Trixie was here, and I was saying the difference between the two dogs. Trixie was just all dog, just mindless, jump around, and Stella was always guarding and stuff. And it's like, they even told me a whole thing. It's like that even with humans. I swear, it's like you have these ones, they're just just want to please, and then you have other ones that are sitting back and more like watching. And people need to become more watchdogs. And I really, on TikTok, I always am following people who are just like watchers or seekers or someone paying attention. And this woman in Ohio, like, man, I think she's at risk for a drone overnight fire, like this chick. And there's already being reporters that are being arrested. They're trying to report on what's happening. And I saw footage of that happening. And you also got to remember that they do those things as a distraction. So all of this stuff can be set up. But so just seeing what is happening over there, and the lies going on. So there's people who are out a bit from the epicenter, and their animals are dying, and all sorts of stuff is going on. And then this woman who I said she's at risk for sure, because she keeps reporting, and she's right by a creek. And I can't remember how. I think she is like, it must be more than 30 miles, but it could be just 30 miles from the epicenter. I can't remember now. But so she was showing the creek out by her house. And so she went and walked up it and showed it was all full of something. It looked like some sort of bluish chemical. And then it also had like this fuzzy, bubbly stuff that was happening all over in it. It was, it definitely looked like a chemical. And then she followed it all the way up to where there was a beaver dam. And in the water, there was some stuff. And I couldn't tell if it was beavers. She was saying, oh my God, this is criminal what they've done. And up at the beaver dam, it was like a whole little pool. And it was like this yellow. I've seen a lot of people getting this little machine that ionizes your water or something. It separates the water into all its different components. And so you put it in your faucet water, and a lot of people are doing this, and it starts turning all these weird colors. And oh my God, it's disgusting. It's disgusting when you see that and think you're drinking it. It's like sludge. And that is what this stream looked like when she was showing it. And so then I don't know if it was later in the afternoon or if it was the next day, but her kids told her there's a truck out there. And so she called the cops, and two guys got out of the truck and went over to the creek and stuff. And then she said she had called the cops, and then she turned on her police scanner. No word, nothing coming across, nobody talking about her call. And then she saw the cops drive down the road, and didn't do anything, didn't look, didn't do anything, just drove like nothing. And so then the guys came out of the creek and went and got in their truck and drove off. So then she went over and looked, and she said it had been a half hour, no call, nothing. And they didn't even call to check and see how she was when she was calling, saying there's two guys next to my house in the woods. And so then she went over and looked. They had removed the beaver dam. They took it all down. And so they let all of that go. And then people who are there are showing that they have a perfectly blue, beautiful sky today. And the person who, like, at least they were aware, like, I think that they're doing this so that we all go outside, so we go out to breathe this stuff. 100% they are. And so, and they're lying totally about this stuff. And then it shows right in that movie, Super 8. It's so crazy how this shit just pops up for me. It's like, I didn't remember about that. And it could have been even when I had heard of that happening, that movie came into my head, because I knew the derailment, cover up, and who was involved kind of situation. And so I had that reference in my head, but then it popped up on my movie thing. Like, we do have this energetic connection. Like, people just don't realize, like, the connections that we have with energy. And so then I started watching. I didn't see the whole thing, but I remember it. And it, is all the lies, the cover up, all of the things. I think in that one, even they released some sort of a beast, which would not fucking surprise me at all. Like, not at all. Like, if they would release something like that. And then they're trying to get the people to come out into the streets and stuff. And I saw this guy, he was saying, he is like me, he gets messages, and he was saying, like, I don't know where my messages come from, but, they keeps getting him. He has no friends. He's isolated, and people think he's crazy and stuff. And he said that, he was in the hospital, and he just got back, and he lives in the woods, and he was out there, and he said, then he started getting his connection again, his download channel, whatever you want to call it. And so then he said that his message was, it was like 1,000 times 1,000 will drown, something like that. The numbers were very much like these, it was strange like that, like 1,000 times 1,000. Or 100 times, I swear it was bigger numbers than that. I think it was 1,000 times 1,000 of people will drown in something that's about to happen. And then 1,000 by 1,000 will be taken by sickness. And then 1,000 by 1,000 will be taken by heat. And he said that it was something about something's going to heat up, and they're not going to be able to sweat. And so then I was like, oh, like a chemical spill kind of thing, like that. And then also, like, we have all these things that are bringing in, like I had said, when they're putting it out there in the movie about that, the fun, and then the GI at the end of it, that is in that, and it reanimates and it grows. It's like a parasitic reanimator of dead tissue. And who know? I'm sure they've got people they've been studying this shit on, like 100%. These fucking people are maniacs, man. So crazy, and the shit that they try and get people to accept. And, it's all of this scientific ethics and all the gross stuff coming up to the surface right now. It's disgusting. Now they're going to transplant wombs into men and stuff. It's like, oh my God, you people. This is shit that used to be done underground in basements. Like, y'all just sign me up. Oh my, what the fuck? Oh my God, this place is so... I swear to God, yesterday, there was so much stuff that was so absurd, and I just started laughing like, oh my God, this is mental. This is absolutely mental. Like, I can't even believe this shit. And so then, and just like these people, like, they're demons up in the sky. It's like, oh my God, this is so fucking mental. And then you wonder, like, why wouldn't the aliens ever come and try and communicate? Well, I wonder. How do you talk to people when they are fucking don't even know how to talk? Like, my Lord. Everybody's so fucking scared of everything. And the monsters in the sky. Are you fucking kidding me? If we had monsters in the sky, don't you think that they would have probably done something a little sooner? Like, seriously. And then, if people could understand, like, these are beings. These are same as us. These are intelligent souls. These are conscious beings. These are people who are far beyond our abilities and consciousness. They are ahead of us. The reason that they are fucking coming is because we are expanding. So we're moving up. And then, yeah, as long as we're down here, fighting each other like a bunch of imbeciles, like, who's going to try and step in? Like, you go try and step into a dog fight and see what happens. My daughter, I watched her do it. And she got fucking the shit bit out of her. You don't, like, I mean, these beings are more intelligent than us. They're not going to sit here and play. And they don't have ego. Like, they don't give a shit. Like, we are like ants to them. How much time are we going to go and sit? Like, are we going to pull in all the ants and sit there and try and convince them, look, people, we have serious business going on here. We're working. Y'all have a role. Like, what? Like, that is how they look at us. It is. And then these people who are also scared, oh my God, they're demons. They're going to get us. Oh my God. It's like, I swear to God, if this whole thing, how they've got people with the fucking mental shit with demons and angels and all that stuff. It is a fucking vibration. It's resonance. It's where something vibrates. And you can have ones that you think are demons that are vibrating high because they're not doing bad. Just like I keep trying to say, is like when you have like these beings or spirits or entities around you, that they this idea of evil of them trying to like suck up your soul and stuff is just it's ludicrous to me. It is like I've said, no, they are observers. The ones that fuck around, they are they're playful. They aren't trying to, the energy that you go out, give back when you get irritated or frustrated is fun to them. They like that energy, just like, a kitten playing, and it claws your hand, but you're still having fun getting it to go all crazy. And so it is, are you evil? I have seen some people fuck with animals where it's like, oh my God, are these people evil? Like, what the hell are you doing? Like, why would you do that to somebody? And, I mean, there's things that you can do that are just going to make your dog have anxiety. Like, people just don't think outside of themselves. They're so self-centered. They're so focused on themselves. And I'll tell you, it's crazy how one simple video can bring up so much passion. There's somebody made a video that went real viral of a homeless person, well, drug homeless person. I'm assuming they're homeless out in the street, but they're just doing all these like weird kind of like jerks in their hands and throwing them around. I mean, when people are not in this reality, when their consciousness is somewhere else, then yeah, it's gonna look strange, whatever they're doing. And so she, is on the street, exposed to the world, humiliated by, what is happening for her. And this guy videotapes it and then puts this music, some silly music to make her look foolish. And oh my gosh, the amount of people that have stitched that to say to that person, like, oh my God, what kind of person does this to somebody? Like, how hateful do you have to be? And that's the kind of stuff where we've had, crimes happen and people jump up and grab their phones. Like, everybody's more interested in trying to go viral than they are in trying to help somebody. Like, the humanity is being shown. It's what's inside of somebody. It's your compassion. It's your caring. And how many people, and a lot of addicts and stuff that know where she's been, who, can speak her truth to these people and put them in their place. It's like, this isn't how you treat people. And, I end up going in there and commenting today. I've seen it so many times, I tricked it back. And then I was like, you don't kick people while you're down, because I also have compassion for the fool who did the video. Because back whatever, before 2020, it would have been lots of people would have laughed at that. A lot of people. But everything is opening up for humans. The compassion, the empathy, the recognition, the seeing somebody, therefore the path I go therefore by I, or something. There's a whole thing, when you've walked a path, you have compassion for anyone else you see on that path. That's why I have so much compassion for teenage troubled girls, It's like I completely, I mean, it pulls in my heart. Like I completely see where they're coming from. And I'm really excited. I mean, she's supposed to come back today, and then they're trying to get her in a treatment place, but really excited because she was making some plans for some adventure, and I kept saying, because you can't give up on life. You have to find something, that makes you happy and excited, and you have to own your pain, and so you have to own your story. Don't hide from it. Don't be embarrassed to claim it, and so I'm excited for, I hope that all of these things, because it does, when you're coming from a really low place and they've got these kids that have been in the system, it's like what I was saying about, they create this environment, and then when you're around somebody, you can see like, oh, you're from that environment that is not typical from this environment. Like, the meeting place in a facility, everybody goes in, there could be a TV going and nobody is watching it, or there could be one or two, with their chair right up close, screaming at everybody else because they're not making too much noise. But everybody in the room is in their own little world doing their own thing. So it's very chaotic. And so then when you're around somebody who's comfortable in that, then for most of us, it's like, well, what? No, that's not how we, and that's what I was saying, like, in developmentally, when they disrupt that and they put them in a different environment. See, developmentally, you would be told, like, when you're a little kid and you come in the room and you start doing something, no, you can't do that. When you come into a general room where we're all at, is a gathering place, not a, so anyways, those are things that we can learn from them, and and it's all this giving and taking, learning and teaching. That's what we're all here for. That's why we're all here, is to be givers and receivers. And so many people, just want to control everybody else's things. Oh, and another thing too. So today when I was on there this morning, and there was a live, and it was a Middle Eastern guy. So he was speaking Middle Eastern language. I'm not sure what it's called. And he was speaking it, it's distinct. I mean, we can all hear it and know what language is being spoken. And so I didn't know what he was saying, but it was live, and he was showing the village. It looked like, I would say, Syria. And it was, you could hear bombs, just bombs shooting. It was insane. It was I cannot believe how these people have had to live. Like, fuck, man. And then that is where it's like, God damn, it's crazy what souls come in for. Like, fuck. Man, the scary thing is they don't remember. And so then they come in and it's like, these are your real challenges. I'm like, fuck, it's intense, man. And I did see this old guy though today, and he was really having a hard time talking and explaining what he wanted to say. But he was like, this is way different than what people think. Like, there's so much more going on. There's like talking, and there is it's like, yeah, it's crazy when I mean, to me, like, I've always known since I was a kid, because I've always had him talking to me. But yeah, all of a sudden start realizing what's going on and stuff. I would imagine that there is a lot of people who are feeling like they're going crazy when you start fucking stopping and listening to what's going on in your head. And he said some more stuff that I thought was cool, but I can't remember right now. But the back on the Middle East, and every time when I hear these people, I get so emotional. I don't know what it is with their music. I can just get up and start doing these dances, their prayers and stuff. I'll just start bursting into tears. I'll get so emotional. It's like, I want to get on the ground and start like, I don't know, it's crazy when we have these connections in our soul that we don't even completely understand. Like, because really the only life that I ever see from back then, I think of it as being like where it was Egyptian. Today I heard Persian in my head really loud, And so I was like, oh, so maybe it was like I was in Persia. But I think, I mean, we got to remember also the maps were different. The maps, I mean, how they lay things out is not totally accurate. And so, and there's been changes to the landscape over time. So, but there is still these certain groups. And I think a lot with the Middle Eastern, it seems that they really try and like they seem super super religious to me, like they really try and stick with their roots or something. I don't know because I don't live there, and I know they're very controlled and it's been very domineering, and the oppression of women, and if you don't follow their religion, like that's the out of balance, that's the stuff that had to come to the surface. That's where the people had to fight back for their rights. But and it's been going on for so long and it's gotten so out of hand. And I mean, and that is why there was like those horrible things that had to happen there to bring all that to the surface, to get the people to come together, to get them to think in a hive mind of what was appropriate, how they wanted to be treated, and to stop allowing themselves to be abused like that. So that's why I was saying how there's like different places that they all have different things that they're healing. Like the stuff in Turkey, like, man, there is so much happening with there. And I think that it is part of the stuff, I think, because of seeing these politicians and stuff speaking out, is I think it is that they had gone. I think that because when Trump went, like there was a whole thing with the Saudi Arabian princes and stuff. There was a whole thing with the sword dance and stuff. They had already come on our side, but they are very significant to the DS, to the controllers. So they needed to keep a hold of these certain places in the Middle East. And I'm not really quite sure about all that stuff right there. There would be a reason why they didn't want to let go of that place, and that they would strike back like that. And you have these people coming out and saying, like, they're using their harp on us, or, these politicians coming out and saying, like, they're doing this. We're being attacked because they're going against the DS. So, and I think that was part of when they all had to sign on to the peace treaty and stuff, was like, I think they all knew, like, any of us can be attacked, and we probably will, because they have the looking glass and they know everything's about to change. And just like that guy said, 100 or 1,000 by 1,000 will die. I was like, what is that, like 1 million or something? I think it's more than 100,000, but it could be 100. No, there's going to be a mass amount of people that are fixing to go, like, for sure. I think LA for sure, New York for sure. Some bad things are going to happen to these places. And the stuff, I mean, I'm over here on the coast. I'm not sitting here trying to be like, it's going to affect me more than likely as well. And so, and this stuff, like, we're right on the verge too, like whatever's going to go down. And then with the distraction thing with all these UFOs all of a sudden, because then a little while later after the Alaska, then there's one over Canada. And I was like, oh my God, now they're going to start with the fucking fake alien invasion. And all these people out there, and I can't even, my God, how many people have got alien ship footage at this point. Like, there's so much, like, people know, but it is so crazy how many people are just so scared. They're so scared of all the things up in the sky, of all of the ships and stuff. It's like, what is there to fear? Don't you realize that they could already have wiped you out if that's what they wanted to do? Like, there is nothing to fear. People are just so scared of every motherfucking thing. And it's all out of ignorance. Is the thing is, if they looked into things, if they tried to understand things, it would expand their understanding, their perspective. They've got such a limited one. That's why I say it's like this primitive, very limited perspective of things, of life, of I saw this woman, and she was talking about, she was religious. And so she said she's been religious her whole life. And I don't know what conversation she was having that I caught on to. But she was saying she did go to, she is in California. I can't remember now the city she said. I've got too many coming in my head. But she said this Bell, and man, I could hear the word so good a second ago. This religious sect, Beluge, Beverly or something. And so that she went to this church in high school with these friends of hers. And she said that as soon as she walked in, she said you could feel it was like demon possessed. It was so creepy. And it is a huge mega church. And she said that when she went in, all these people were down on the ground and like barking like dogs and acting like like all these weird animals and stuff. And then she asked somebody like what they were doing, and she said that it is the Holy Spirit, God has gotten inside of them and taken over control. And so the girl was like, that seems very strange. And that they think that they're taking over because it is supposed to be you getting control of you is, the teachings is not, God's going to take you over like a puppet or something. And then she's the thing that was creepy, because it was just weird stuff she was saying, but the thing that was creepy, she said they do this thing. They go around to famous people's graves, and if they're buried somewhere, and they lay on top of it, and then they spirit suck. They spirit suck these people's spirits up into them. It was like, what a creepy, like, what? Like, that is so fucking creepy. Like, man, they're like, I don't know. Like, I question church just off the basic teachings. But then you start going to ones that are doing weird shit like that, and you're participating and you're not questioning it. It's like, what in the hell? Like, that is weird. And the one guy who I was just, who was saying that there was all this stuff going on in his brain, he was like, we're being controlled through our brains. He's like your higher self, and like there's other ones in control. And it was like really freaking him out. Like, I couldn't understand if it was freaking him out or he was just so confused of how to explain it. But, that is, like I said before, at some point you start feeling like you're a puppet to your higher self. Like, I'll even argue back, like, I don't want to do that right now. Like, why do I want to do that? And, but every single argument or every single time you do that, that's already written in anyways, because it was always going to happen, because all we're doing here is replaying. It's like we're replaying something that was already written. And it is, once it's written, once the code is written, the game is written, then we're just playing the written code. The game is playing out. And so it's the replay of the whole thing. And what was that too? I had heard this person talking about something and the spiritual expansion or something, moving out past destiny or fate or something. I don't believe you can move out past fate and destiny. Like, I mean, we all have our different understandings of this place, but as far as I see, as far as I understand, you can't do that. You can't make a change in something. It is, like, if you were going to like level up, you were always going to level up. It was always going to happen. The things happening were always going to get you to that place. So it's not happening by accident. It was already written into the game. And so all these people who think like these things that they're changing something, no, it was always written into the game. It was always going to happen that way. There's nothing that can happen any way different than how it was always going to happen. Everything, I mean, to me, that is so logical too. Just think about if everything was really accidentally happening, there would be absolute chaos. Like, and everything is a tightly woven fabric. It is the fabric of life. It is tightly woven. It is completely controlled, and it is, I say the awakening is you coming into that realization to stop being in this 3D fight, trying to control your life that you don't have control over. You're here to experience, you're here to expand, you're here to understand. And so your birth experience is for you to witness yourself and to, understand yourself. But it is a set thing, and everything that you're going to do was already in the program. And so it isn't like, because even when you change, or people are like, you change timelines and stuff, it's already in the thing. You were going to change your perspective. You were going to see this at this time. You were going to understand this at this time. You were going to expand in this way at this time. And all those things are written. That's the way I see it. I don't see where people can all of a sudden think like you have control on this certain level. The control to me is your attitude, is how you look at things. And it is like, if God, your higher self, is in control, and these things that are happening, what is your attitude? What is your attitude towards your God? What is your attitude towards your life experience? That is what it's about. That is about you coming more into, understanding life is happening for you rather than against you. And that is up in here. And that is where it changes your attitude. That is where and it's your attitude, is how you see things, is how life changes. It's because it's how you feel. And it's not, you just start looking at the gifts rather than, you see the challenges as the obstacles, but you feel like, you're a 5K marathon runner. At this point, you can just take those obstacles at a pace. They're not going to knock you down. They're not going to break your legs where you have to sit there and heal. You just get more into the whole thing. So it's like an obstacle course that you can manage, instead of one that is like disaster around every corner. Because when you are feeling beat down in life, that's what it feels like. Every corner is like, oh my God, another thing. Oh my God, I can't get ahead. Oh my God, I can't believe this. Like, it's just nonstop. But when you start looking at it, it's like, oh, this happened. Okay, so this is going to happen. Now I'm going to learn about it. You start looking at things differently and seeing things differently. And to me, looking at things differently and seeing things differently, like, I don't know about this UFO situation. Supposedly this over Alaska was a cylinder of, and then on, I don't know about the one over Canada. And then the balloon over, where did they shoot that? Oh yeah, because that was over by South Carolina, because they've got fucking over in the Carolinas, they got from Montana, they got Ohio. Man, there's so much fucking poison over there. God damn. All out in the air, and there's all these people going out and showing these blue skies, and they're saying, I haven't seen a blue sky in months. I have not seen the sun in months. And now all of a sudden there is. Man, these motherfuckers. Man, so many people. Kids, come on, let's go outside. It's such a beautiful day. Ah, fuck. And they go home. Kid starts getting sick. Start trying to go out to the doctor. I don't even know who the fuck these people are who are working in these places anymore. Like, the crazy shit that's going on in these places. Man, all this stuff. Like, for people to wake up. God, it's a lot. So, and down, I saw there's a big storm flood thing happening down south again, down by Mississippi, Louisiana, all that. So there's another one going there, but 100%. And to me, some of these are like signals to some of these people to wake up and think like, ooh, man, I better move. But I think a lot of people think, okay, well, this has got to be the last one. Oh, we won't have any more. This happens every year. What was it? Yesterday when the wood guy came and was bringing my wood, And he was talking about some stuff, and he's like, well, it's the same. I mean, this happens every year, blah, blah, blah. And it's just, it's what people start doing. And then another thing too is he was talking about, he's a hunter, and he's definitely the bread and butter kind of guy from America, logger, a family guy, goes to sports, probably goes to church and stuff. Like, I don't know. He's definitely like that white bread kind of America, meat and bones or whatever. And but when he was sitting there saying like they may go duck hunting yesterday, and I try and be really nice and supportive. Oh, cool, thinking like this guy's really trying to show his son how to take care of himself and stuff like that. And he's telling me about the youth hunting thing and all this stuff. And so, I was all supportive, but in my head, I'm like, oh my God, ducks mate for life. This is so fucked. Why can't people see? Why can't people understand that animals are not just here for us, that they are here having their own experience? And it's like, it's just like there's so much disrespect for nature. And it's so crazy because you have people who are very into nature, and but there's a disrespectful component, just like in that movie The Stairs, what I was watching, and the whole thing starts with that hunter and just his whole attitude and just going through nature and stuff. It's such a duality to his attitude and to where he's at. And so, yeah, it is. But, the awakening is complex. There's a lot of people drawn to something, and then they have no compassion or empathy for it. And that is the stuff that they, have to waken up to. There's so many different things that people are awakening to. And, I don't even know today what is going to be like. They're going to be shooting down more shit. Like, there's no telling, like, what the hell. To me, it makes the most sense that, what was it too that I just saw? Somebody, it must have been some prophecy thing, because they said that the tsunami that's going to come is going to be 3 miles high. 3 miles high? Fuck. If there was seriously a tsunami that hit 3 miles high, I mean, that would engulf LA. It would engulf Seattle. It would, all the coast. And, but see, it's not going to they are going to destabilize it under the ground. All the fault lines. Like that part of California is going to go in the water. It's not going to just be, the water's not going to just rise over it. Part of it is going to collapse. There's going to be a part of it that's going to come, like something's going to collapse over there. And it's going to be like, I don't know if it's going to be like how in Africa, it's separating, so it's kind of going slow. It might be, there's going to be a big earthquake and there'll be a big collapse and the people will start evacuating. Will still be a lot of people who would be killed in that. Or is it going to just come in and going to be just like a major collapse and everything's just going to go at once? Like, I don't know. But definitely the water is going to come up because it's going to cover a couple states. So it's going to come up high. And so, I mean, it fucking could happen at any moment. Like, that's the thing. And how many people are just not even prepared. And it's the people who aren't prepared are the ones that are going to be the problem, but they're going to be a problem for themselves, and then they go into their panic and just freak out, and it's going to be, super chaotic. And the Vegas now with the gas thing, I was like, man, when they're all of a sudden cutting you off from something that will help you move, that's not a good sign. It's like we're going to try and keep you trapped here, or something's going to go. And that guy's saying something with the heat. And you start thinking about the places that are hot. But, there's also chemicals that can heat up. So, and, a blast heat, and man, I don't know. But I knew Vegas. I mean, it's underwater anyways in the map. But I knew Vegas was going to, because there's so much dark energy. Like there's so much dark energy that has become accepted in some of these places. And it is like this reset. This stuff has to go away. It has to go and be underwater. It's got to be out of, and anybody who is attached to it has to heal if they want to continue. You can't be attached to that dark energy and hold on to that and also ascend. You got to like choose. You're going to hold on to this. You're going to, move out of that energy and into something new. And the moving is so uncomfortable. And especially if you've got like a vibration where you've got a lot of darkness or attachments or, dark entities around you. And people don't realize how much that they do. Like even when she left, these ones, like not everybody left with her. Like, and this one, I don't get. This one is such a freaking bully. And it is, but it isn't like, it's not doing anything. It just, when I go that direction, it comes at me, and it just like comes at you. I don't know, but it's not like it's can really do anything. And then you got to remember not to engage. Like, what was it I was just watching? Oh yeah, it was one of those stories. I can't think of the word. I can see kind of those stories that are on where the guy reads stories. There's a few different channels. And so this story was this guy, and he got hired to like be the security for this office at night. And so he was getting paid a huge amount, like $5,000 for the week or something like that, to be this night security. And he, but he didn't want to, complain about or, ask too many questions. But there was rules he had to follow, and the rules were really, really strange. And so then stuff started happening, all this supernatural stuff started happening, and beings are coming in and they're tricking him and all sorts of stuff. And the guy in the notes has said, do not engage, no matter what they say. Even if they call on the phone and they start talking to you, do not speak back, do not engage with them. And one came in and tricked him, and he did start talking to him. And, no, there was no, because that girl, no, he didn't even speak to her at all. And they just would keep harassing and harassing, trying to provoke him into speaking. And he wouldn't speak back. But the whole thing is like what I have said is, you don't interact like that. Don't like, acknowledge like that to, like start engaging with the entity or something. It's like you give it, like let it just run its loop. Let it just do its thing. You don't start pulling it into your reality. It's got its own reality going. It's got its own loop that is in, so you don't engage and pull it into yours and start interacting and giving it that life. And, there's people that are giving them names and all sorts of stuff with, to me, even giving it the power and calling it a demon and giving it that power, that's you giving it all of that, what you think a demon has, and you just gave all of that to that. And it's all in here. It isn't even, because then you've created that. You have made that happen. And I don't even think that entity would absorb that. It's almost like you've created a whole new thing. So entities are energy, and it all depends on its own consciousness, if it has awareness of itself or if it's just attaching, and more advanced energy is the ones that are, that communicate with us, that engage with us. They are more advanced. And then it's like, then they are speaking then they know it's not like me hearing, like I'm not gonna get scared. Like I know who's talking. Like other people, they don't even know anybody's talking. And so it's like you coming into awareness. So it is like you're engaging, like they're dropping the stuff, but it's like you have to realize. So then that engagement is just different. It's different than if you have an entity that is around you. And it's different too if it is a relative, if it's a family member or something, or if it's just an energetic entity. And, and all that depends on its own understanding of itself. But if it had very much understanding of itself, it wouldn't attach to another being. It would want its own independence. So you got to see that these attachments that people have, they are not individual entities. They aren't demons and stuff. They're just energy, like a parasitic energy that feeds that certain emotion. So then they, like depression, sadness, anger, all of that stuff, then those entities that feed off of that bring and attach to you, they bring more of that. It's like you it's like magnetize more of what you're feeling low. You bring in more of that and it will make you feel more low. That is why it's really important when you start feeling low to transmute that energy, to change it. Like I said, turn on music, start dancing, do something that makes you feel good. Go in and cook something. Like I can say the things that make me feel good, but each person has their own things. And so you have to find something that makes you feel good. And definitely dancing and music and stuff changes the energy. There's a reason why music has been in human existence since the beginning of time. I think since the beginning of sound, we've been trying to make music. People were whistling and what is that? What is that called? What the Dutch people or something, like yodeling and stuff, like blowing into things and stuff. So blowing into shells, and people have been wanting to, wanting to communicate and stuff, but I think that was so manipulated and used against them. But anyways, there's a whole thing to music and our soul and our spirit. It's a connection, and it is a good way to just raise your vibration. And if you put on something and it's not working, just, keep trying, put on some other stuff, put on, what is that guy, the saxophone, Louis Armstrong on, and, that'll make you feel happy. So, and another thing too, is I do not, like, if somebody can't sleep and they try and tell me, like, I put on binaural beats and it doesn't help me, bullshit. Like, I can't, it puts my mind, like, I can go and lay and listen to even the waterfalls, any of those things. And it's like, I can feel inside my body, I can feel like things changing and relaxing and moving. I can feel in my head. And, if somebody can't, they're blocking themselves, because it's very relaxing if you just lay down and you just tune into it, absorb yourself into it. It is like a connection that happens with you, with inside of you, with the frequency. Like, and you will go into a deep sleep. But my sleeping is still, it's like something different is going on. It is, and that has been going on for such a long time, where, sometimes I'll have dreams, but it's not like dreams, like, it's more of like I'm going and meeting people, and then I'm going to these like classes and stuff. Like, I'm always like in these being taught things or something. It isn't like just going into dreams and then I dreamt that I was going and I was doing that. Like, I hardly ever have any of those now. It's always like I'm someplace else. And so I don't know. I'm excited to see what is about to happen. I can't even believe now all of a sudden how I'm just getting all these TikToks that keep saying this same thing to me that I was being told before. But anyways, I don't know. I feel like everything is about to be changing. And the cool thing is when this shift goes from how everything is upside down. And so all of us people who people think are crazy because we're the sane ones in the upside down. So when everything flips and we be seen for being the sane ones and not insane like we were being labeled and talked about. And then what's even crazier, like the stuff that they show me about stuff of my own thing and about this video. And another thing too is I also have come into this realization is because I'll get all upset like seeing some of these people and their ignorance and the stuff that they say and stuff, and I'll get all frustrated and being like, oh my God, like I'm being so silenced and I feel like I could help. But see, that's not my role. Otherwise, I would be being seen right now. That's not my role. And the thing is, it's trippy about these roles right now is that it's like the opposite of what people think. And so when it flips, and so, man, it's just going to be so curious because the curiosity for me is how I'm being shown things and what I'm seeing, and then to see how this is going to play out and go down. So I'll tell. Like, I'll say all the things as it goes. I mean, I want to say so much stuff ahead. Maybe I already have some of it. But definitely when stuff starts happening, because this is very curious to see all these people who think like I'm crazy, who don't know what I talk about. And all of this awakening is about this stuff. So I don't know. This is very curious. I think that there is going to be some people who, when they see what it was I was really talking about, is going to kind of be like jaw dropping. Like, what? And then there will definitely be like, I don't understand. How did you know this? How did you know this? Like, why couldn't, I don't know. You don't even have to ask me. It's my role. It's what I came into play. That's the only thing I know. It's what the part I came into play is this part. And so it's interesting because my part is just getting started. Like, so this is very, I don't know. It's exciting because like, to think of your life just getting started is like very exciting. It's almost like being, an 18-year-old who is going to graduate and, you got your whole future ahead of you. And that is how I feel. And before, where it felt like now I just have this whole new vision. It's like a whole new zest for life. And it's super exciting. So, and I know a lot of people get very beat down. And I try and tell them, yeah, when things turn to go the other direction, people will see. They'll see. You don't have to be beat down. People will see. But people don't understand that things are about to turn the other direction. They don't understand this pole shift thing of this energetic shift. It's the flipping. It's where everything is in the upside down. It's going to flip and go right side up. Everything that was thought to be crazy is going to shown to be sane. And so that is where it's going to be, a lot. It's going to be super intense. And, and then also, you just got to keep it in mind while all of these horrible tragedies are going on around us. I mean, for shit's sakes, like this morning even I got up because all of a sudden I heard men talking outside. I was like, what? I jumped up and was like, oh my God, what the hell? That was creepy as shit. And I think it was the neighbors back there. It's so weird how they're always just outside all fucking night talking. So strange. I swear to God, it's got to be those construction people still. I do not think that they're just regular neighbors. It's just too weird. And then the one house down there, the still just needs the front siding. I don't know what all it needs on the inside, but there's a big problem there. and I don't know what all's going on over. I mean, they're still making so much noise, which I think so much of that noise is to mask the worrying, because I hear this out when I go outside, and I keep trying to isolate and figure out where it's coming from, but it's like this it's like this whirring of this machine. It's like, fuck, is this the sky? Is this like the sky making this noise? Like, what the hell is going on? And but I mean, these loud planes going over is like, man, anything can go down at any second. And so you just got to keep remembering, once it goes down, keep it in your mind. This is a simulation. This isn't real. This is, I think it's very, very difficult for people to realize that you are not the player. You are safe. That your player is just the player in the game. This being that we are, that we believe that we are. We're just the players in the game. And so we're the avatar. And so we can't be hurt, even if, we're not in the game anymore. We're not really hurt. We're safe. And so all of this scary stuff that can go on, because there's going to be some scary stuff, and there's going to be some people who are going to be heroes that were awake. There's going to be some absolutely magical, beautiful things for the people awake. So just keep that in mind. You have an important role to play. So don't get caught up in the illusion. Don't get caught up in the stress and stuff, and keep your wits about you, and always be thinking ahead of them, like when they're putting out a bright sunny day, when they've just fucking put all of these chemicals on everywhere, then, absolutely, you need to stay safe. You don't go out and just, the lures, they're always luring, they're always baiting us, and people just don't see. It's like, all these fish should be caught. Those of us, that's where you want to stay down low, stay down deep in the water and just watch. Because, they're all just rushing up there, grabbing this one, grabbing that one, grabbing this one, just going out. It's like, oh my Lord. So anyways, I swear to God, there was some other things I had seen that I wanted to say. Every time that there is like a whole bunch of, things. It can be just like one thing. I'll be like, oh man, I gotta say that. But then I just can't remember them all the different things. It's just, this same kind of stuff to me happening, people just questioning things, questioning their relationships, questioning where they ate out, questioning their doctor, questioning like all of that kind of stuff. Like, why is this happening? Why? I don't understand what's happening here. And then you got the ones who are like, I think something's going on. Like, if I'm watching, I think people are all starting to wake up or something. It's like people are all starting to question it. Like, you have all of that whole thing. And you have the ones that are Jesus. And then, the ones are scared now. It's very repetitive, and there's like so much, but there will be one or two little jewels that I will see in there, and then I just can't remember them all. So I don't know. I could come back later and do another video, because yesterday I almost did, because there was some other stuff I wanted to talk about. So I'll have to see. But definitely to me, it was very much like they're on their verge of this this fake alien thing, or they're just trying to cover it all up. But there's just way too much talk of this fake alien invasion thing they're going to do. That has been something that whatever, I think his name's D'Souza, has been talking about for so long, that was part of their plan. It's like in their documents or something. So then, and it's their perfect time to distract from all that, because so many people are talking about stuff. But anyways, it's not going to go the way they want. There's a universal energy that's going to change everything and put us in the other direction. It's the pole shift. It's the everything turn in the other direction. So And as far as we've gone, even though it's always like, oh my God, I can't believe how far we've gone, but it is necessary. It's necessary as part of the fabric, part of the design of what has to occur. So, we just gotta go with the flow and allow this, this outfit, this fabric to be woven into the cloth that it is becoming. And, it's more of witnessing and watching the design as it creates itself, and more than in about controlling it or something. Oh, that's what, yeah, today is Super Bowl Sunday. And so a lot of people are expecting today is going to be bad. Like they'll do their ritual, and even the Grammy ritual. Then there was the turkey thing, and the cloud is back up in the sky again. I've seen more footage of that. And then whatever's going on over there, where there's they're blasting these people, like, man, fuck, dude, man, it's so intense. Some of the times when I'm looking, it's like, oh my God, I just don't even want to see this shit. So fucked, man. And, but they'll do some sort of ritual, and they also use the distraction time for something. So anyways, today, I guess, be expecting, like, I don't know, it's crazy that we have to be on edge all the time, but if you're not, then, just be hit right upside the head. You got to be like watching, like paying attention. And so, I don't know. And the whole thing is too, is like you can be in your place and somebody else in another state's being hit hard. And we're all just sitting here, and have no idea, like all the stuff that's going on in Ohio. Like there's no telling. Oh my gosh, there's no telling how fast that's going to affect these people. Man. I don't think it's going to be like years. I think it's going to be fast. I think there's going to be sickness. It's going to be super fast. And that they're going to, they're not stopping until things turn the other direction. And then it's still going to be chaos because it's going to be the people reacting. So anyways, just keep staying safe and, stay on your toes and take care of yourself, and don't go outside just because it's a beautiful day. Like even the other day when I went outside, it's like, man, it sucks. The whole time you're out there, you're just breathing in poison, and you get itchy, and it's like, oh my God, things are burrowing into me. Oh my God, it sucks. So anyways, today could be a really significant, impactful day for us. So, and there's supposed to be a big meditation that's supposed to be happening. So if you want to participate in that, this person was saying, envision yourself at the game, and envision yourself holding the light, and try and keep the evil that they're trying to create more trapped in that area so it can't come out and wreak havoc. So, I'll probably do that whole visualization and participate in that, because we have to take this role. If we're coming here to bring the light, we got to take it seriously and start freaking being active in, counter their rituals, like especially when they're putting them right out there in our face. So I didn't even know about the Grammy one until after. But since I know about this one ahead of time, then yeah, I will go in and do that whole visualization and do whatever I can to hold the thing. It's kind of like, what is that? Oh yeah, and a lot of my dreams are like lucid dream, but it's kind of like that same thing. It is where you can put your consciousness somewhere. It's called something. I can't think of it. There's a whole thing about it too, because people can go and there's a whole group like I'm sure in the CIA documents, but it's even more than just that. But you can give them coordinates They can go into their mind and as consciousness, go into those coordinates and see what's there and tell you what's there. So it's, it's all about focusing your consciousness. And so it's the same kind of thing. As long as you believe and you see yourself and you put yourself there, it is, there is so much to it, believing. You have to believe something to create it. Like, that is true. Because as long as you doubt, you will hold yourself back. So anyways, I guess that's enough. I think that was the thing I was trying to remember, was the Super Bowl thing, with that whole thing. So anyways, stay safe, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.